وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ.
Let's have a look at the overview diagram. So the first section we mentioned the negation of a superficial understanding of what is good, righteousness. So what is righteousness? First thing is to have iman. And then its manifestation is to do infaq, to spend. Now it is mentioning ibadah. Yeah? One thing I forgot to mention, I'll mention it now. There is hadith of the Prophet ﷺ from Fatima bint Qais, very brief. Inna fil mali la haqqan siwa zakah. That in your mal, your wealth, there is a right in your wealth other than zakat. Yeah? Zakat we have to give, yeah, we know that, yeah? But in your wealth there is a right other than that as well. But Allah in His mercy, He didn't legislate. Yeah, He didn't legislate. But He gave us, yeah, the motivation to give as much as we can in sadaqah, etc. But so we should think about our wealth. Yeah, this gives us a mindset of wealth, because wealth, al-mal, malullah, wealth belongs to Allah. We need to be very convinced about this. That whatever we think we have is not ours. Even ourselves, we are not ourselves. We don't belong to ourselves. Allah gave it to us to test us, to see how we will take care of it as an amana. So for then, if you have that world view, you have that iman, understanding of the reality of life, then for you to give is easy, isn't it? Because you think, I'm giving, this is not even mine anyway. But if you think that this is mine, and I am the sole possessor and owner, then it's very difficult. Then it becomes a real problem for the person to give, and he then would become depressed and unhappy to give. Or after they might get excited and give, but then they would, yeah, not be able to deal with that afterwards. So aqama as-salata wa ata az-zakat. Then Allah Ta'ala, He's mentioning that these people who have what? Who are the people we are explaining here, Ali? The people who have? Who said the answer without? Who got excited? Alhamdulillah, good to be excited for Allah, good. Yeah? Question, Ali, was, actually let me ask the sisters now, yeah? Sisters, are we talking about? Who are we talking about when we say these people, they establish prayer and they give zakat? Who was this person? No, we didn't say mu'minin. One, please, one answer, one at a time. So what was the word? Good. The people who have birr. Yeah, good. Okay. So these people, what did they do? Aqama as-salata. They establish as-salah. And as Ustad Hassan gave a good example, as-salah, of course, it means here the obligatory prayer prayed as the Prophet ﷺ taught us in terms of the time, the place, yeah, the conditions, etc., how to pray, when to pray, what to pray. All of this is aqama as-salah. And of course, this goes beyond just the personal prayer. This of course means to establish the prayer as the center of the Muslim society, the center of the Muslim community. To establish the prayer. It becomes an established feature of the Islamic Muslim society, to the extent we will see in Surah An-Nur, inshallah, when we talk about Iman, which is the next day, that Allah Ta'ala likes us to build these masajid so that they are very, very well known and prominent, to be seen as a constant reminder of Allah. And then we have azan to be given. We will talk about azan maybe later on, inshallah. And the merits of the muazzin, I was surprised. The merits of the muazzin, Allahu Akbar, I was like taken aback. Because we unfortunately we underestimate the muazzin. A person got nothing to do, he's giving azan, astaghfirullah. No, the merits of the muazzin, subhanAllah. Even the four khulafa, they had not jealousy, but they were envious nani positively, yeah, that they thought to give azan. Anyway, so they established the prayer according to the Prophet ﷺ, and I'll just read the summary of the tafsir here. Means those who pray on time and give the prayer its due right. And I was thinking, when I was reading tafsir, I was thinking, these are obvious, but these are gems. Because they are giving you the gems. Yeah, these people are giving you the gem, because then we can reflect and say, do I have these or do I miss something? So they pray on time, give the prayer its due right, meaning that the attention is there. And of course everything else. The bowing, the prostrating, and the necessary attention and humility, and to be humble as Allah requires it. These are the people who establish prayer. Becomes part of probably the most important part of their life. Everything revolves around prayer. I was speaking to somebody at school. May Allah guide her. She's trying to pray. She was saying to me, "Oh, you have to, bring your prayer around your routine. You can't, bring your routine around prayer, because otherwise you can never pray." But because she was coming from the angle that when I go home I try to pray all my prayers, but then some auntie says that all this prayer is not worth it. So I said, no, this is good, you're trying. Today you're doing 3 on time and with 2 extra, yeah? Tomorrow you'll do 5 inshallah, to encourage. Yeah? So we need to be very mindful of the prayer. And to give as zakah. So here as zakah has been mentioned, because we mentioned the previous section, to give your wealth despite your love for it and for the love of Allah. This is not zakat. This is siwa zakah, other than zakat. These categories of people, they have a right on your wealth. We should give these people their right. And one of the meanings that I mentioned before of al-birr from Tadabbur Quran was what? Do you remember? I said this is a very interesting angle. Yeah. No. I said zakat is mentioned now. What we did before that, to the orphans, etc., this is not the zakat, this is, other than zakat. I forgot why I asked the question now. What did I ask?
What did you say about birr before?
Yes. So I mentioned one meaning of birr from Tadabbur Quran earlier. Anybody noted that yet?
Is it to fulfill others' rights?
Good. To fulfill the rights of others. Good. Okay. Now zakat, what does zakat mean? We all know that it means to purify, but what does that actually mean? Very briefly, it means to purify our earnings as ordained by Allah, to make it lawful for us. So we give a portion, 2.5% to the needy. Where in the Quran does it give us the list of the needy people of zakat? I give first sisters, no, you need to put your hand up. This is not fish market. And I say that to my class. I say, this is not fish market. If you want to go fish market, Billingsgate, yeah? Where one seller is telling the other and the third, no, this is not fish market. This is only class. And I'm being quite nice, I'm not being strict. So, alhamdulillah, yeah? Sisters first, if you put your hand up, or if you can speak, because otherwise I can't see. So one sister at a time, yes, with the hand up, yes. MashaAllah, excellent. Surah Tawbah, verse 65, is that correct? I don't know about the verse number, I know the surah. Khair, half a chocolate maybe, yeah? Inshallah, unless we verify it. So that is given there. However, we need to think about this, yeah? We need to think about this. We are purifying our wealth, which is lawful in terms that we earned it from a lawful means first. Very important for us to think about this. Yeah, because we might earn from unlawful means, but then we give zakah. Yeah? That's problematic, isn't it? That's problematic. So we are making that which is lawful for us, truly lawful for us, by obeying Allah, in that Allah says, give this much to the people mentioned in Surah Tawbah. Khair. Last part and then we'll have a break, inshallah. The next one is to do with your contracts, mutual contracts. Can you think of different types of contracts. Marriage, mashallah. Make dua for the people who are not married to be married, inshallah. Especially the brother who said Ameen loud. Huh? Any other contract, sister? Any other contract, sisters? Business, good. Property, any other more brothers? Work, good. Employment. Let's think of contracts that we actually make, which are close to us. We do actually. Promises. Anything else? Okay, so they are personal things that we do. What is the greatest contract? With Allah. Yeah? Yeah, your will, is that a contract? I suppose it's a type of a contract. I'm not sure. Asim, is will a contract? Will is a contract, yeah? Type of contract. Okay. وَالْمُوفُونَ بِأَحْدِهِمْ إِذَا عَاهَدُوا. These people who have birr, yeah, they are the ones who fulfill their covenants. Let's take one ayah regarding this beautiful ayah from Surah Al-Isra. Surah Bani Israel or Surah Al-Isra, ayah 34. وَأَوْفُوا بِالْأَحْدِ إِنَّ الْأَحْدَ كَانَ مَسْئُولًا. Beautiful. Subhanallah. In fact, when we reach that, because this is going to be part of Amalus Saleh, I believe, where we will look at Surah Bani Israel, Surah Al-Isra in some detail, a section of it. Allah Ta'ala is saying, fulfill your trusts, your covenants, not trusts, covenants. Verily your covenants, they will be asked about. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, you need to be very mindful of your covenants that you make. As we said, the first and foremost contract is with Allah. And we renew this every day in our salah. How and where do we renew it? With your hand up. If you want to answer, Brother Daud. Good. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. We will give you some fruit because you go to the gym, mashallah. We're not going to give you chocolate, yeah? إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. We are always saying to Allah, oh Allah, you alone we do and we intend to worship. So we renew our contract. And we do and we intend to always ask for help. And before that, in Surah Al-A'raf, Allah Ta'ala mentions that when He took all of us, the humanity, the creation, the human beings, out of the back of Adam alayhi salam, and then He presented all of us in one place. Allah Ta'ala asked us a question. Alastu bi rabbikum? Am I not your Lord? And everybody said yes. Everybody said yes. Yeah? So this is a covenant that we took. Okay? So we need to fulfill that. Some other hadiths regarding this. One hadith here is saying, one who breaks the covenant with Allah, then Allah He will avenge for it. But then whoever betrays the dhimma given by the Prophet ﷺ, so the responsibility given to us by the Prophet ﷺ, to understand this, in a Muslim society, the people who are not Muslim, yeah, they are the responsibility of the state to be protected by the state because they pay jizya. Yeah? So the Prophet ﷺ is saying here, the people who have paid the jizya, this tax for their protection, then they are the responsibility. Whoever does not give them that right, the Prophet ﷺ, the hadith is saying, the Prophet ﷺ will confront and argue for that. So we need to be careful. Another hadith from Musnad Ahmad. This is very profound, subhanAllah, this hadith. And it's a bit dangerous, scary. La imana liman la amanata lahu. There is no iman for the one who does not have amana, meaning does not fulfill their trusts, to show the gravity of this. Wala deena liman la ahda lahu. And there is no deen for the one who does not fulfill their covenants. So very important to fulfill our covenants, our work contract. If we say we will work these hours, then we should work those hours.
Sorry, could you just repeat that hadith?
The hadith, yeah. Wa iyyak. La imana liman la amanata lahu وَلَا دِينَ لِمَنْ لَا أَحْدَ لَهُ. I will give you the paper afterwards if you want to write it, inshallah, yeah? وَإِيَّاكَ. And this hadith very scary about the munafiq. Prophet ﷺ says that the signs of the munafiq, 3. In one hadith 3, in another 4. Whenever he speaks, he lies. إِذَا حَدَّثَ كَذَبَ وَإِذَا وَعَدَ أَخْلَفَ. Whenever he makes a promise, he goes against it. Yeah, he breaks the promise. وَإِذَا اؤْتُمِنَ خَانَ. Whenever he is entrusted with something, breaks that trust by being somebody who betrays their trust. Okay, moving on then. So let's take Tawasi bi Sabr here, or Sabr, in this last section of this ayah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. والصابرين في البأساء والضراء وحين البأس. And those who are patient in poverty and hardship and during battle. أولئك الذين صدقوا. Those are the ones who have been true. وأولئك هم المتقون. And those are the ones who have taqwa, or in the translation here, who are righteous. Let's take this then. والصابرين في البأساء والضراء وحين البأس. Just as I'm trying to just mention certain Arabic related points. Strictly speaking, it should say sabirun. Yeah? Sabirun. If we were to grammatically write this, it would be sabirun, which is a certain form of the verb, basically. We leave it at that. Marfu. But here it's not, it is sabirin. And the tafsir mentions that this is to highlight and to praise these people. Something called madh. To praise these people, to highlight them, and to bring our attention to these people. That look at this aspect of these people. And to emphasize their status. Because sabr, we will go into detail into what sabr is in the 5th session of the course, or the 5th day. We will talk about tawasi bi sabr. But sabr, we need to understand, what does it actually mean? Because we might sometimes think of sabr as something quite negative. We might think that sabr is just to be quiet and not to say anything and just to bear whatever happens to you. That is a type of sabr, but that shows a very negative connotation to it. Sabr is actually a very positive act, proactive act. Because sabr actually means to be persistent, consistent, to persevere, to not give in, to carry on moving ahead, and to stick to some certain fundamental things that you are very, very convinced about, and not to budge on those things. This is sabr. There are types of sabr that we will mention later on in the last session for today, which is Surah Fussilat, inshallah. So, sabirin, these people who have this consistency, persistency, or persistence in obeying Allah, but certain circumstances have been given here. First one, fil ba'sa'i. Ibn Abbas says this is faqr, to be hungry and to be in much need of food. Darra, illness, sickness, in fact chronic illness, physical pain. So that ba'sa was the first one. Faqr, to be in extreme need, especially to be hungry. Darra, illness, sickness, physical pain, chronic illness. And hin al-ba's is in the midst of battle. So once we understand these 3 terms, we will then start to elaborate, inshallah. And before I elaborate, let's make the connection. Iman. Real Iman must lead to amalus salih. Did Ustad Asim mention Amalus Salih? Okay, so we won't expect you to know the definition of Amalus Salih yet. But anybody who can tell us what does the word Amalus Salih actually mean technically, not just linguistically? Yes, Ali.
Does it refer to those acts that are carried out to please Allah and good deeds?
So good, you.
That's closer to the level of the mercy of Allah.
So good, you give me one aspect of Amalus Salih, good actions, those actions that we do only to please Allah, to be closer to Him. There's one other aspect of an action to be regarded as virtuous, salih.
Basically, it has to be based on the Sunnah.
To be done in accordance with the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Yeah? Amalus Salih. So, you want to say something? So we mentioned that already. The first is intention, to do it only for the sake of Allah. Good. So intention and obedience of the Prophet ﷺ. So Iman, which is real Iman, it will inevitably affect action. Makes sense, yeah? You believe in something to be true, you act on that. That will then inevitably lead you to want to tell other people about that. Tawasaw bil haqq. And as Asim said, when the prophets, when they gave da'wah, when they did tawasaw bil haqq, all of them, and the best of them, who? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They will have retaliation, they will have confrontation, they will have opposition, they will have hindrances, you name it, it will come. Hence, tawasaw bil sabr is inevitable. For us to continue, we must exhort each other to remain steadfast in these difficult times. You following the connection, yeah? Surah Al-Asr and this. Now, certain aspects of sabr have been mentioned here. In times of hunger, because you see, Iman brings test. Iman brings test, and the person is tested according to his or her level of Iman. And who are the people who are tested the most? The prophets. Jazakallah khair. So one type of test is hunger. Now, if we now reflect on this and look into history at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, which one incident comes out really obviously glaring example of the believers having to remain steadfast in severe hunger? There's a hand there, but I'm not looking there because you didn't put your hand up, you spoke. Yes.
When they were thrown out of Makkah.
So that's very vague. I want something very specific. Yes, sisters, I'll give you a chance first. Yes. I can't hear you. So boycott is a very general term. What does it mean? Boycott? Jeffrey boycott? Which boycott?
It's the year before Hijrah. It was a year in which
So again, that's vague. Year before Hijrah. Which year? No, you had your chance.
the year before Hijrah.
Severe hunger.
The Muslims were thrown out of Makkah because by the Mushrikeen, and they were sent to the Valley of Abu Talib.
Good. Valley of Abi Talib. That's one very glaring incident. To the extent that the believers had to eat what? Leaves of the trees, subhanAllah. 2-3 years. My Shaykh, may Allah protect him, Abu Mu'adh. I'll let you guess his real name. Abu Mu'adh. He used to say, I won't copy what he used to say exactly because then you will know who he is, yeah? He used to say, not in his accent, I think Brother Dawud already knows who I'm talking about. He used to say, those believers, they ate the leaves of the tree 2-3 years, yeah? For us, if today we were boycotted, the young before the old and the men before the women will go and, just to change what he said, go to Tesco straight away in case we run out of food. This is how much we are attached to dunya. This is how much our sabr is. Yeah? And another glaring example is Khandaq. You know when they were digging the trench? You know, if we don't know Khandaq, we know nothing. That's the honest truth. That means we are living some ajib life, weird life. We don't know why we're here. When the Sahaba were so hungry that they would do what? Tie stones to their Yes, Tahir, tell us. Brilliant. Can you tell me more than that, what I'm going to say? How many? Good. MashaAllah. Excellent. Tahir, Jazakallah khair. Yeah? What's that? Yeah, of course, he can take chocolate. Of course, he earned it. MashaAllah. Good. When the Sahabi came to the Prophet ﷺ to say that, oh, Ya Rasulullah, we are hungry. Look, we are tying stones to our belly. What did they see? Did they see their leader in 5-star hotel? Saying, don't worry, I'm with you. Did he do that? No. Or in a container, like in Pakistan, air conditioned. No. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had 2 stones. 2 stones. This is sabr in severe hunger. Steadfast, remaining, not budging. Because it's a test. You can very easily, faqr, this type of poverty can lead a person to kufr even. May Allah protect us from that. This is dua. In the morning and the evening we should make this dua. Yeah? May Allah protect us from this. So ba'sa. And then the ra. Extreme pain, especially illness it says here. Personal illness or personal pain, like we take again history of Bilal radiallahu anhu and Khabbab ibn al-Arat. How they were tortured for their saying La ilaha illallah, but they meant it. They meant it. And the last session today is all about this sabr. To the extent that Bilal was about to die because of the boulder on him. And Khabbab ibn al-Arat, because these were the lowest level of people in society, slaves, etc. Yeah? No rights. Khabbab ibn al-Arat was told, take off your shirt and you lie down with your back on the burning coal until the fat from your back, it will extinguish the coal. Subhanallah al-Azim. We should never ask for hardship, brothers and sisters. This is a mistake many of us have made when we were young and we say, bring it on. We should never say that. We should always ask Allah for afiyah. Yeah? May Allah give us afiyah, protection, ease. Keep us away from all this difficulty. But Allah will test. The last one here, Heen al-Ba's. In the middle of the battle. In the midst of the battle. Yeah? How the Sahaba, they remained steadfast, especially in Uhud. In the 5th section, inshallah, we will go through a case study of Uhud. What an amazing incident in the life of the Prophet ﷺ and this Ummah's life. Where the Sahaba were shaken so severely, but they remained steadfast. Right in the middle of the battle, when you can see death staring in your eyes. These people Allah Ta'ala is mentioning. Now, we mentioned Tawasa bil Haq hasn't been mentioned here, yeah? In this ayah. That they also exhort, invite people to the truth. Yes? Hasn't been mentioned explicitly, has it? Anybody not following me? Yeah? He didn't mention that. But of course, the inevitable result is that you have to do sabr because you have done Tawasa bil Haq. The Sahaba were doing Tawasa bil Haq. The Prophet ﷺ was doing Tawasa bil Haq. He was exhorting, inviting people to the truth. Hence, he had to then remain steadfast. So what about these people? Allah Ta'ala says, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا. These people are the people who are true to their claim. What was the claim? No, what was the claim in the beginning? No, birr is the condition, but what's the claim of these people? Belief, that we believe in Allah. We believe. Remember we mentioned amantu billahi, etc. Yeah? So Allah Ta'ala is saying, Ulaika alladhina sadaqu. These people are true to the fact of what they're saying. They actually mean what they're saying. Sadaqu. And then the last section here, or the last part, وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُتَّقُونَ. These people are the people of taqwa, meaning these people have been successful in warding off the punishment and disagreement, or the disobedience, the anger of Allah. Because taqwa is actually trying to save yourself from something harmful. This is what taqwa means linguistically. To save yourself, protect yourself from something that is of harm to you. So these are muttaqun. These people have been able to successfully do that through belief, through actions, and then remaining steadfast on that belief and those actions. Okay. I'm going to just stop there for a minute, because we're going to then go on to the next section of the dawah perspective on this. But before we do that, is there anything not clear about this so far?
Can I just ask one question,
Yes.
please? You know you mentioned the two bleeding incident, which was the first one? I didn't quite
Yes, the first incident is, okay. This is in the valley of Abi Talib, when the Muslims were boycotted, social boycott of the Muslims. They had to go and they had to leave Makkah. They had to go and dwell in the valley, which was known then as the valley of Abi Talib. Abi Talib, yeah? Shebe Abi Talib. And they had to stay there for 2, maybe 3 years approximately. That was the first incident. Okay, dawah perspective. So we now understand, alhamdulillah, that we as true believers, we have to not only have belief, we have to do good, righteous deeds. Now we know, alhamdulillah, we have a better understanding of what righteous deeds are. What does righteousness mean actually, as Allah wants us to know. And we need to spread the haqq, we need to invite to the haqq, we need to exhort each other to give the haqq, and then we need to exhort each other, help each other to remain steadfast. Now the dawah perspective I want on this for you to take note of, which is the next page, we left some section there. Because we need to relate Quran to our dawah activities, because we need to act upon this. It's not good enough to just listen, understand, learn and feel good, I know. No, this is the beginning. The real thing is in the field work, when we go inshallah into the field and we give da'wah. There can be many perspectives, but I took just one because of the time, which was, when we are talking to people, we need to have a few strategies in mind. Especially in this context, who was one of the audiences in this whole incident of changing of Qibla? The Jews and the Christians, people of the book, because it says Mashriq and Maghrib. So look how Surah Al-Baqarah, as we mentioned in the introductory points, how Allah Ta'ala, He started to mention that whether you turn east or west, then Ibrahim alayhi salam, etc. How this whole discussion went on for maybe a year and a half, maybe, because the Prophet ﷺ came to Medina, then for 14 to 16 months he was facing Jerusalem. A few points I've mentioned, but before I go into that, anybody want to say what they think now? What do they think from understanding this now? Some dawah perspectives.
No, just going back, illness. Did we talk about illness? I just lost.
Not really, no. We didn't say illness, we took...
Poverty, hunger.
Yeah, we took hunger.
We didn't see.
No, we didn't talk about that. So what do we learn from this approach of the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, talking to people of the book? Because eventually this is dawah, isn't it? To the people of the book. Allah Ta'ala is telling them to come back to Islam, submit to Him by believing in the Rasul. So certain things you can maybe pick out. Yeah.
One thing might be the connecting things between us. So talking about religion, talking about Allah, and you're connecting the dots to say after Christianity then came Islam. So
Okay.
connecting the people to bring them to
Good, very good. I will rephrase that to say, brother said, connecting people through things that I think you're saying are common. So the thing that was common was Ibrahim alayhi salam, mentioned very vividly in the Quran. Hanif, that he is straight, on the straight path. So when we talk to people, we need to think about what is common. especially common personalities. People are attached. We are attached to the Prophet ﷺ, yes? Christians are attached to Isa alayhi salam, yes? Jews are attached to Musa alayhi salam. And all of us are attached to Ibrahim alayhi salam. So bring out those things that are common. The other thing, I will just go because of time, although I would like to do an activity, but anyway, we will do an activity anyway. It's progressive. The persuasion is progressive. Prophet ﷺ didn't come straight to Medina and the Qibla changed, did it? Because the Jews would have felt very, very awkward and left out. They would have felt that this is not something that we're a part of. So progressive persuasion to people, to make them not feel that we are somebody else immediately. Yeah, to be sensitive. Another very important dawah perspective. Strengthening the iman of the people calling, the da'i, and reminding us of our past and our future vision. So we know about our past, this is what happened, but what is the vision now? And one last point, which is very relevant to today, and I didn't mention in the beginning, although maybe I should have. The people of the book, especially the Jews, they caused a lot of hoo-ha about the changing of the Qibla. Yeah, the first ayah of the second juz, سَيَقُولُ السُّفَهَاءُ. They said that, or Allah Ta'ala says that they will say soon that what has happened to these crazy people, that they have changed the Qibla. Propaganda. Muslims got concerned about this. So to look at propaganda, but look at the deep-rooted, intentions behind it. What is actually being said here? Understanding that, going to the roots of things, and then addressing them. And final conclusion, really, I want you to take from this is that the concept of righteousness comprises of two parts. One is the form it takes, Abu, the form, and the second is the spirit. Yeah, the changing, our direction towards Qibla is the form. The spirit is obedience of Allah. That is Birr. But of course, as the ayah mentioned, there is much more to that than that.